Welcome back to the only Dune Spice Wars guide you're going to need to be a Grandmaster Dune Spice Wars player with Cream the Legend, the champ. Today we're going to talk about Atreides and how gross this faction is. This isn't going to be your typical Atreides. It is a win, but it isn't going to be your typical Atreides gameplay. We did do Paul in this one. If you do want to go max sweat, you probably want to go instead of Paul, you want to go Thufir Jessica. But nonetheless, Paul is like Atreides. I don't know in my guide if I put Thufir as an S tier counselor or an A tier counselor. Jessica is 100% A tier, but usually Jessica Thufir is the best way you want to play him.
You
So
can't
I'm
beat
gonna
him with everything.
I'm gonna walk you through the game here. We're gonna talk about Atreides. We're gonna talk some of their unique techs, tech paths, how dumb their army is, their operations, and all those things. So let's just get right into it. So we spawn in. Pretty simple with the tradies. Just capture your spice field always. Build your harvester, and then start researching your tech. Now with the tradies, you want to get a tradies sympathizers first. Okay, I guess we had to remake it. So let me just as I keep talking. Okay. You want to get a Atreides sympathizers first, and you want to get the tier 2 blue as well, because then you get Atreides can suffer early in the money department, and if you get tier 2 blue, you get the house gifts, which is a free 500 Solari. Shout out to you 12 for teaching me that one back in the day. So here we go. I built a trooper and a ranger. I'm gonna capture my spice field here. And if you guys have any questions, because I'm live streaming this on Twitch right now, as we go along, please ask any questions you have, and hopefully my volume and my mic is good. But yeah, so we're gonna capture our spice field, build a refinery, and now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for like three bordering regions with good production quirks. Maybe like handymen for the cheapened costs, like construction costs, but definitely want a fuel cell, definitely want a plascrete, and then I want to put a maintenance center in between all of that because I'm going to be struggling for money early game, which is pretty typical of Atreides. As far as like the tech order goes, I think with Atreides you can pretty much get the first three blue techs, then you go into lay of the land, and then you want um, a handful of yellow techs. You don't necessarily need a Atreides Foreman early, but if you do get it early, just know that a Atreides Foreman is a unique tech to a Atreides that allows you to get more spice production from your harvesters if they're maxed out with crew in their for each spice tax, right? But in the beginning, your units cost more manpower than the rest, like the other factions, except for Eek has perfected units. So in the early game, it's pretty tough to max out your foreman stacks on Atreides, which is your T4 yellow tech on the left. Let me see if I can catch. Let me see if I can catch me like just opening up the tech tree here. We're gonna go normal, and then normal speed, and then we can just kind of like pause it on the tech tree and talk about the tech tree for a second. But yeah, you only need like for yellow in the early game, you only need the first three, which is urban planning and modular parts that allows you to get your spice silo and allows you to build multiple. Okay, it's right there, so I'm gonna pause it as soon as we get there. Um, uh, it allows you to build. Gosh, it's so fast. It allows you to build multiple buildings at the same time, which is really awesome because you're going to be doing a lot of peaceful annexing. Okay, so here's the Atreides tech tree, right? So you want to start with either some combination of uh, the first the first yellow, blue, and green, right? Lay of the Land is incredible, and every faction that has Lay of the Land should pretty much get it early because you should get your knowledge going early. Um, and with Atreides specifically, Atreides sympathizers gives you early influence production, so you can guarantee if there's no Carino in the lobby, which in this case there was, if there's no Carino in the lobby, you can win the first Landsrad. If it's something that you want, like ideally it'll be like infrastructure control, which will give you minus 50% building costs. But some Atreides only unique techs are political entente, which is why you really want Jessica, because for betrayal you get 4 Landsrad guards, which is super strong, and Jessica's always forcing you into truces as a counselor. The other one is cultural assimilation, and this makes it's their form of outpost logistics. So it allows you to get a third agent on the Arrakis skill information level, and it will allow you to annex villages cheaper than it would to outright capture them. So with Atreides, we're going to see some annexing. So when you want to capture a village as Atreides, you can either take it with your military, or you can just walk over. You can walk over and you can walk over with your military, or you can click on the village and hit the little flag in the top right corner, and it'll allow you to just capture the village for for the cost of authority of the village and for some influence. I think it's like 40 or 50 influence. Anyway, you can see here with my spawn, I captured my plascrete tile second. I have sandfall over here. I have a spice field over there. I have fuel cell over there. So more than likely, I'm gonna put a maintenance center right in this plascrete tile, and that maintenance center is gonna touch so many villages. The next tile, and then the whole time I'm just running around my units and I'm trying to get veterancy on my units, because Atreides have an armory upgrade that gives them, and they have a tech called Proud Liberator. Let's look at that for a second, which is an Atreides only tech. The Proud Liberator tech allows them to get max health for the amount of Landsrad for each amount of Landsrad that they have. So as far as main base buildings goes, you want some combination, in my opinion, with Atreides of admin hall, research center, and embassy, because embassy will allow you to start accruing Landsrad standing for each truce you have, and I think I think that that will allow you to go into there's the tech tree. It'll allow you to go into like month 4. So this tech right here, Proud Liberator, is the tech I'm talking about. It's also an Atreides only tech. It'll if you get your embassy early and you have a lot of truces, which you normally do with Atreides because you have Jessica, your truces don't cost any authority. So everybody wants them because they get free knowledge, free Solari, free influence if they truce with you and accept those treaties. And so you can get a lot of Landsrat early if you build your embassy and you have your truces going, and that will synergize nicely with their armory upgrade, which they have like this memoirs upgrade that gives their units max. I believe it's max health for the amount of Landsrad you have. It's like a percentage base. So the higher Landsrad, the more tanky and beefier your units are. So with the Atreides, some combination of admin hall, um, research center, and embassy is good. So I start off by capturing a spice field after my plascrete tile. Okay, and I'm getting spying logistics after getting composite materials, which is a tier 1 yellow. Here's our first Landsrat. It wasn't anything special. I'm going to walk over, stop that militia from taking my village, and I'm going to continue to like run around. I'm going to grab as many POIs as I can, research POIs, manpower POIs, whatever. I'm going to pick up whatever plascrete POIs I can, and I'm going to try to get every single one of those 10 Landsrad freebies. Like you see, get research investments there in the Landsrad had the little magnifying glass. Sorry, had the little magnet on it. So I'm trying to get 10 Landsrad per council. I got my house gifts before the first Landsrad. I'm gonna walk my ranger over there. I'm gonna pick up that 500 Solari. You can see I'm only +1 Solari, even though I just got my second spice field. As my production comes online, as I start building, I'm already -11. As I start building manpower, research, and plascrete, I'm going to be at a pretty heavy deficit pretty early, which is pretty, and I'm going to start building my army as well. So now I'm going into urban planning, and I went admin hall first in the single slot. And I think my rationale for going admin hall first in a single slot is after I pivot off of these initial yellow techs, because right now we have the yellow tech bonus. I don't remember exactly how far I go into the yellow tech tree because the bonus is on right now from the Landsrad. I like to get the admin hall built, and then as I finish my other tech trees, I'll have a single slot district bonus for my yellow tech. So when I come back to finish out my yellow techs, they should be quicker. Okay, so I think I'm grabbing. I think I'm just again, yeah, I'm just running around getting veterancy on my units because the more veterancy I have on my units, they also get a buff. Obviously, not just regular like veterancy buffs, but Atreides specifically has buffs that help with. So that's the first peaceful annex right there, right there. So I'm peaceful annexing that spice field. You can see there's a progression bar there. I spent influence and authority to capture that, and I don't have to walk over there to capture it. And what's nice about that is that it'll have some militia in the village because I didn't kill the militia, so it'll have some militia in the village already there after I cap it. So I'm annexing the village. I'm walking around, trying to get veterancy on my units. Second building, it second building in my main base was okay. I went research center in the second in the other single slot. Atreides has a single slot, has three single slots, guys. Three single slots means that you can have a research bonus for your yellow, red, and blue text if you put one of each in each slot. So I'm going research center here. And I have a quest on the top left. I get a free warden from that because I killed militias. So there's my free warden. And that's also 300 hedge. And you can see my Solari is really negative, so I'm sending out treaties to everybody now. I'm sending money treaties, I'm sending research treaties. Okay. And I was going to force choose Vernius because I want his tech, but he accepted it. So now I'm plus 13 Solari after everybody accepted my treaties. There is some Dune theory here. Um, on whether or not Atreides should be traded with. The problem is like if one person trades with Atreides, then everybody should trade with Atreides. But if the lobby decides, hey guys, we want to not trade with Atreides, okay, let's look at my tech order there for a second. If the lobby decides, um, let's not trade with Atreides, then Atreides' early game progression, especially if they have Jessica, can be blunted pretty well because they rely on those treaties. So I got the first three yellow techs. Now I'm pivoting into cultural assimilation, which is going to help me get uh, villages faster and cheaper, and then I'm getting some more blue techs. Pretty greedy here, but Vernius is my neighbor and I'm not going to feel any early threat from Vernius. I can also probably go up there and liberate that from him. Okay, Hark sent me a bunch of treaties. I accepted those, so now we have plus 58 Solari, which is great. Our influence should be low because it's actually still pretty high because I did annex the village, so I am leading the lobby in influence right now. I'm opposing the middle because I don't want Vernius to get sync for free because he already capped there. And I don't know what happened to the lands right here. Okay, it was denied, so that's good. I got house gifts over there, so in the beginning when I'm struggling for Solari, okay, here's the upgrades, right? So I'm gonna go memoirs on everybody pretty much. So there's the memoirs, war memoirs. Eventually, right? I got long range on my rangers to start, but as they get veterancy and as I get Landrat standing, and I get my second gear slot, I will equip the war memoirs on all my units. And the other unique thing about Atreides is their support drones. Their support drones are really, really useful units and should be in every military composition. They, of course, do require fuel cells, but the support drones basically prevent your units from dying as soon as the unit is either hit by an assassin or its health becomes close to zero. The support drone will scoop it up and it'll save that unit. And Atreides cares about, kind of like lore accurate stuff because Atreides cares about, they're honorable and whatever. They want to keep all their people alive. But in the game, the higher the veterancy of the unit, the more buffs the unit gets. So support drones will be out eventually, but not yet. I don't have any fuel cells just yet. So with Paul, you can see like I captured two siege regions here and here, and I already got the council chamber tech. So I'm gonna build council chamber here, and I'm gonna get relationship with these sieges to 100 as I trade with them. Now what that does is for every siege that I'm trading with, because I have Paul, I get +2 authority. So the idea behind Paul and how you want to play Paul, and this is actually amazingly good RNG because both the siege regions are spice fields, which is super useful for me. The what you want to do with Paul is you want to get your immediate sieges around you, and then you want to start scouting around the map to start annexing stuff that's annoying for other people. And if other people start to take stuff from you, you can force truce them. It's very unlikely that they'll betray in the early game, and you just start growing like a cancer. And that's kind of like the idea behind Paul, and he pairs really well with Jessica. So I captured my second and third spice fields. Interestingly, like with Paul, I'm not doing the main like what I normally do with Atreides is I like to have a maintenance center. So I think I'm gonna capture that region because it's a fuel cell. Yeah, I'm gonna capture that region, try to get some fuel cells out, and it's political entente over here that allows me to build a council chamber, which is a building that I need to get my siege relations. So you can see I just started trading with that siege, like fully. I'm allied with that siege, and now my authority is +11. That's so nuts to have +11 authority. Some factions like Ekaz and Vernius can produce a lot of authority, but Atreides can produce the most authority in the game. Fremen can also but I think Atreides produces the most authority in the game when you have a proper Paul build. So anyway, so I have 3 spice harvesters. I'm gonna be running around again, just playing super greedy. Not a lot of red tech here because for some reason I'm thinking I'm not under threat. Maybe Hart could have came over and definitely not from Vernius, but Hart could have came over and really screwed me up. But I'm also decided to play Paul, so it's a pretty greedy play style. Um, our next lands are at here. Infrastructure control is on the table, and I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna want to try to get that, but I'm not sure if I'm the leader in influence. We'll see. But yeah, playing really good right here in my opinion. Like setting myself up for the late game. The spawn though, like, is not great. If you can see, like the spawn, I have this guy already bunkered middle. Infrastructure go control goes to elected faction. I try to get it. I do get it by a couple of votes. I did have to lose 20 Landsrat standing because Harkonnen put a Harkonnen taint on that, but I got the +10 from the left resolution, so it was a net -20, which is not terrible. So you see, I have one of each district bonus built. I put all my harvesters in safe mode, and I choose to go play. Am I gonna go greedy here? Yeah, I think I went greedy. I think I built Mason Guild next. Um, and so my spawn is pretty terrible as far as like the amount of specials go. And I'm getting my fuel cells out, and I'm continuing to research blue tech, and my knowledge is 20. So 20 is pretty good at this stage of the game. In month 3, 20 is pretty good. I think I put a maintenance center in this tile here. That would make the most sense because it touches like 5 tiles. My Solar production is 93. I have 3 harvesters, and my manpower production is only 17. And I have to like fill out my harvesters because I'm getting the tech through Vernius. But anyway, as all this is going on, I'm continuing to run my units around. I'm building more fuel cells there, and I'm getting veterancy on my units. And at the same time, I'm building all my production, and I'm getting some operations, and I'm kind of like assessing the map here at this point. Like I'm pretty boxed in between Vernius and Hark. So Hark is a really tough one to win fights against. Maybe sometimes you can win fights against them on your territory because Atreides has a tech called Vet Militia where they take less damage on their own territory. And if you can bait out the operation from Hark, plus like whatever operations are active in a territory, Atreides gets a buff from that. That's this operation right here. So with this operation, the more operations that are happening in each region, I believe Atreides gets like some kind of damage reduction or armor buff. I don't remember off the top of my head, but like you want to throw that operation down and then throw down whatever else you have in that region so that Atreides gets as many buffs as they can. I'm about to hit 10k, so we can talk about their two heroes. Uh, One is Duncan Idaho, the other is Gurney Halleck. Gurney Halleck gives buffs to the ranged units, I believe. Um, and then Duncan Idaho is just a beast. Like the more times that he dies, the stronger he gets, and he can pretty much run down any unit and kill any unit. So he's really good at killing other factions' heroes, and he makes the fight like if you're fighting in Atreides, you pretty much want to ignore Duncan, and you want to focus their support drones, and you want to whittle down their army and leave Duncan for last. If they have Gurney, Gurney has an ability that he can activate that makes them really good at escaping, but while that ability is active, they cannot fight. So just make sure that when you're using Gurney, you want to only use that ability if you're trying to escape, because then your units won't be able to attack. Okay, so I have 44 out of 65 CP. I think I built my command post next. That was my third building. So I went manpower, research, admin hall, command post. In retrospect, it would have been probably better to get the embassy a little sooner. You can see my Solari production is good. My Plasky production is good. My manpower production is good. I'm continuing to run around and kill all the militias to get veterancy. I'm going to get my laptop requester. That's another +3 knowledge. And I'm up to +30 knowledge at the end of month 3. So looking really good there. I'm building out my army. I'm getting a couple of support drones, and now I'm going to get all my upgrades. So the most important upgrade on the support drone, I think, is the +1 carry capacity. Okay, you definitely want to get that. And then this one is amazing on the heavy weapon squad, minus 10% damage received to all close allied units that are at close range. So basically, all your melee units, as long as you have a heavy weapon squad, they have a minus 10 damage, minus 10% damage buff. Okay, so then I'm gonna get experience for my warden, right? For every experience level, gives him 5% max health. And then this pairs with Proud Liberator, right? The higher my Landsrad goes, the more. So if I have veterancy on my units and I have Proud Liberator, I think I can get up to like somewhere like 800 or 900 health army. It's definitely the tankiest, one of the tankiest armies in the game, and that's basically how you kit out the the Atreides army. So I just want to stop it here so you guys can see this. So if you need to pause it, well, okay, you basically saw the whole armory upgrade right there, right? It was ranged on the Rangers, minus 10% damage on the heavy weapon squad. Everybody basically got memoirs, and now I'm running around again. The thing with Atreides, I think with Atreides you want to play outside in, and the reason why is so you have these villages right here in the middle, right next to your main, so you can continuously run around and um, get veterancy on your units. I do have the Moondu Vale over there, so the spawn wasn't awful, but it wasn't great. It's only really like 2 specials, and then that White Rift, I'm gonna have to fight for that White Rift later. All right, so I peaceful annex these two regions over here, and I bunker them down. I'm not sure if Hark likes that because those were in Hark's pillage route, but I don't care because I'm making 16 authority right now. It's absolutely ludicrous. I'm pretty sure I'm going to start floating authority in this game. And Atreides is slightly different than Carino, which are the two, like, I would say, if you're a competent smugglers, you can outplay them, but Atreides and Carino, according to my tier list, are A tier and smugglers is S tier. But they play radically different. Carino plays inside out, and Atreides plays inside in, outside in. So it's a nice little contrast there. I do think that Atreides is the most annoying faction by far, simply because of ceasefires and peaceful annexations, and it's pretty much an auto win at the end of the game unless there's a comms jam in the lobby from a smuggler, and that's not even guaranteed. Even if the smuggler is in the game, they could be out of intel. People will probably feed the smuggler intel, but you never know. So I got 64 to 65 CP. I'm getting my T4 tech through Vernius. I'm keeping that alliance with him. I'm researching my red tech right now, 35 knowledge, And when I break my alliance with Vernius eventually, it's more important to have my red tech than my yellow tech because even if I have the so you can see my build here is going to be triple red, double blue, double yellow. Okay. Um, and I'm getting asked to help with Carino, and I said yes, I can annex next to him. And I was trying to annex Cruiser in this game, but I think he's going to stop me from annexing Cruiser. The one thing that I wasn't able to do well in this game was to get enough intel. I'm at 465 intel to get enough intel to have a ceasefire ready. Because if I see him going for a region that I want to annex, I can ceasefire that region. He can't do anything about it, and I can annex that region during the ceasefire, which makes this faction the most, in my opinion, the most cringe and annoying faction in the game. You literally never have to leave your main base to capture all the regions you want, and then you can just fight on your home turf and defend with vet militia, which is unbelievably annoying. So I just captured. Okay, I like that right there. So I just captured Mundu Vale. I built a furnace in between those two spice fields, an alloy furnace to get plus um, plus Solari production from my plus economic building production from my two spice fields there. And I'm continuing to build out my infrastructure. I'm almost max vet. I'm doing some kind of diplo with Hark here to get on Carino. And so I'm probe setuping the cruiser wreck, which is what I want to do. I want to grab that region, and I don't think I get that annex off. I think something annoying happens here because I don't have a ceasefire cooked because I'm a scrub. I think something annoying happens here and I don't get the peaceful, and then I start floating, or I don't have the authority or something. I don't remember. Um, I just remember that I don't get it for some reason. But anyway, we're at 13.2k hedge. We're finishing up our red tech. Our knowledge is 38. Like, okay, that's what happened. Vernius was grabbing it. And I was trying to tell him not to annex that, but he's obviously going to annex that anyway. And all cash isn't stupid. He's going to try to get that region for himself. I could still annex somewhere anywhere next to a trade, Carino anyway. I'm making 16 authority. And I'm leaving like plenty of villages in my backline, not only to veteran up my units, but to set myself up for the late game so I can capture those villages later to push myself over 30,000 to win the game. Um, I think at this point I just decide that it's better to just let Hark die and just take the specials for myself because I think what was happening here was Harkonnen. Yeah, you see I'm peacefuling this region right here and I got my army stacked up here. So I think the even though Carino was gonna get a third base, it's not necessarily the end of the world. Yeah, I broke truce with him, and I said, yeah, I got to think about it from my end. I think you're dead, so I'm just gonna take these regions for myself because there's two specials here. Even though Carino base dropped him, Carino got like a two special base drop from that and a base kill, which is pretty sick. So that was a really good play. I think Feeding was playing Carino in this game. So this guy is so cooked. He's absolutely cooked, and I decide instead of trying to stop Carino, I'm gonna let Carino kill him, and I'm gonna try to make the most from him dying. And it's not always necessary to save somebody. In some situations, I would say in most situations, it's good to prevent the person from getting a third base or getting a base kill. Like Fremen would really like a base kill to get a deep desert. Carino would really like a base kill to get a third base. Atreides kind of likes a base kill too because all the specials become available. I do have a ceasefire cooked now, and I'm gonna start attacking that village before he dies. That way I can annex that village. Because sometimes when somebody dies, um, their territories become liberated, and you're not able to touch those villages for I think there's a cooldown of like 4 to 5 days. I forgot. So I decided to let Harkonnen die. I'm building out my tier 2 blue. I went with the Landsrad quarters, which allows me to break my influence cap so I can make some votes here. And I'm rearranging my villages here. I'm putting a maintenance center there in between all those tiles. I'm getting a special out of it. I just got the quest for spaceship parts. I completed that. And I do have to get my Kraken out. The one thing I could be doing better is I'm at 80 spaceship parts here. It's month 5. I could have had that built. Sorry about that, guys. My headset turned off by itself. Um, yeah. Uh, so that that is something I could have did better with the spaceship parts. But whatever. All my villages are built out. I got crafts already. And now I'm setting up a military base next to White Rift because I kind of realized that eventually I'm going to have to take White Rift to win the game. And what I'm doing by sitting all my units on all these villages here is that I'm preventing Carino from dropping on those villages just in case he decides to base drop me after he gets a third base from killing Hark. So he's killed Hark, and eventually we'll find out where that base is going to go. I got Worm's Nest out of it, so for me it wasn't a bad thing that Hark died. It was probably better for Carino because he got 2 specials and a third base out of it. I just don't remember where he drops the third base. I think he drops it up north near Cruiser Wreck where Vernius had captured something up there, and we're just we're grinding along. I'm at 17k hedge. I have good Solari production. I've got a maxed out army. They're almost max vet. The one thing you can do to vet them quicker is you can start farming sieges, but in this case, because I'm playing Paul, I don't want to ruin my relationship with my sieges. So I'm not going to be using sieges to get my veterancy up. So the veterancy process does get a little tedious with Paul. Um, I'm getting trinkets. Vernias does have all the yellow tech that I haven't researched yet. So I think what I do is after I research trinkets, I'm gonna go grab that yellow tech, and I'm getting that plus 10 Landsrad right here. I'm opposing private mandate and infrastructure control goes through, making 1.1k a day. Like things are good. I'm set up to go into the late game to at least have a chance. And that's what it all comes down to. Like this is called the mid game. We're between like the 15 and the 23,000 hedge spot. And at this point, like people are going to be challenging win conditions. You can see who's set up to have a chance at winning the hegemony win condition, who's set up at having a chance at winning the Chom win condition, who's set up at having a chance to win Gov. And so I'm capping regions. I'm trying not to float authority because I'm making 18. That's so much. So I'm capping regions. Um, I just got trinkets and I'm cooking 37 because I'm annexing next to Carino here, and you can see because I have it's a siege region too, which is like so good. So I built a airfield there right away, and because I have urban planning, I can build more than one building at a time. As per usual, I'm really low on water just because Atreides is always low on water. You pretty much always want to consider building recycling vats in the main base because you're going to be low on water. So did we just see where Carino base dropped or no? Did he base drop up north? So that's his original base. I'm not sure. I think Feeding likes to hold his base drops, so I'm not sure like where he does end up dropping. We will see it eventually. So I'm pretty sure he hasn't base dropped yet because I'm still sitting units on my villages next to my main. And I did a really good job of being like in second place with 3 villages in my backline that I can cap at the end of the game. So I liked my position going into the late game here, hedge wise, right? I'm not saying like it was a guaranteed win because somebody could have went on Gov or Chom way before then. But in my opinion, in Dune Spice Wars, you always want to be challenging the hedge race and contesting whatever else you can, like depending on your faction strengths. Like with Fremen, you can't do anything except contest hedge, right? Or you could become gov eligible to spoil somebody else's gov. But with so clown player that was feeding, he asked why I annexed there, and I said question mark. Um, yeah, so you want to contest. So Vernius broke truce with me, I think, or I broke truce with Vernius or something because I'm having to research Wonders of the Desert. But I think I actually have to research that anyway. I'm making 1.4k Solari a day. Manpower is good. Plascrete's good. Knowledge is 50. Like that's so freaking good. To have that much knowledge. I have an annoying annex out in the middle of the map, and I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna like with in this situation at 18 authority production. I'm annexing that region on the right too. I don't know if you saw that. It went real quick, but I'm annexing the region in the bottom right here. And um, I mean, I like my spot here. I like my spot. When things start to get crazy later, I went with Duncan as my hero right here. When things start to get crazy later, as people start trading the lead for hedge, or people start to realize, okay, this person's too far ahead, we have to knock him down. At least I'm in a spot to win, right? And that's all you really want to do because realistically speaking, like your chance to win each game is only 25%. But as the game progresses, some people are going to have pretty much a 0% chance to win the game because they didn't set themselves up to win the game. And some people are going to have a much higher chance because they did a much better job. So I'm fighting Vernius, so I'm making 24 intel. I just made an EMP bomb because I suspect that I'm going to have to fight him soon. So he's primarily a mechanical army, and I have an EMP bomb cooked to fight him when the time comes. I think I'm annexing in the top left here as well. I'm doing a good job of not floating authority. Like that's okay. So I pulled my units because I'm pretty sure the base drop went down somewhere already. I'm not sure where. Yeah, he dropped up north, and he's gonna challenge Vernius for cruiser wreck. And if my memory serves me right. And he's gonna start sitting. Yeah, there's the base drop up north. It's up here, and he's gonna. They're gonna start fighting, and I think I'm gonna use that opportunity to take White Rift off of Vernius. You can see I'm setting it up over there. I'm building a military base over there, and I have an airfield over there. I'm putting my agents in all the right spots to max out my authority, so that all the plus 20% agents go on the Arrakis field. And I'm cooking 37 passive hedge. I can make my Kraken, which I think I'm sleeping on that because I'm at 108 space and guild parts, and I have 54 fuel cells. And so I make a deal with Carino, no peaceful annex near me. So I think I make a deal with Carino to drop that peaceful annex, and we both agree to go on Vernius. Okay. And I told him that I'm gonna hit White Rift, and he said he's gonna go on Vernius, and then that's how this game goes. Because I think at this point Vernius was clearly ahead. He's cooking the most. Carino's flying up north. He's gonna contest him, and I have a airfield and a military base next to White Rift, and Carino's gonna start the attack. I'm pretty sure Vernius also obfuscates the parallel training, which is incredibly good for Vernius and incredibly annoying for everybody else. And um, now the late game starts, right? And this is what I was talking about, where 23 between 20, 22, 23 to 30 is the late game. And at this point, you have to analyze: do I have everything I need to be in a position? Do I have a nuke? Do I have a military factory? Do I have airfields, military bases, turrets everywhere? Do I have a couple of regions in my back line to secure myself a couple of regions in the late game that are safe that nobody can touch? So I annexed this. I actually thought that this was a siege region, but it wasn't. But it was a blank region. It doesn't matter. I'm making 24 authority, guys. 24 authority on Paul. Like nuts. I'm looking for regions to annex. I'm annexing in the back over there, and I break truce with him. I get my Kraken out. Okay, so the Kraken was cooking. I get my Kraken out, and I start going for the okay, Vernius insta teleports on me, and I'm sniping his engineers first because engineers are like what is keeping his army up. So you can see I'm right clicking those engineers. I'm not doing a good job of putting my Kraken in harm's way uh, to soak up some of these turrets on the right, but I pretty much wipe Vernius pretty good, and I'm rebuilding my units as they're dying, and I'm getting my support drones out of there to so that he admin burdens me, and I'm getting my support drones out of there so that all these units that were banged up, they get to heal up, right? I do lose my Kraken. Vernius is attempting to assassinate me, and so I have to research my cell search here. And as I'm researching my cell search, I'm putting agents on counter intel and I'm rebuilding my army. But this allows the Carino to at least knock him down a peg, and it looks like that is going to happen. So because I lose the fight, but my support drones were stayed alive, you can see I can remax really quick, and I'm back up to 65 really fast because I was able to preserve a lot of units, and so I'm ready to go like right back in, and I'm cell searching while this happens. So Vernius can only put cells in neighboring regions, and this is like a really hard region to take because it's a bunker. So I try to tank some of that stuff with my trooper, and Um, I think I'm eventually gonna win this fight, but this is a long, grueling fight, and so I move all my stuff out of range of all the turrets. I don't have the authority just yet, uh, but the assassination is continuing to go, so I think I pull back here, and I'm cell searching with a couple units in the back, and I think what I do here is when this resolution comes up, the Landsrat Punishers, and I'm continuing to annex in the middle too. So I'm keeping it close, right? I'm annexing in the middle. I'm making 27 authority. Holy crap, dude! 27 authority. What a number. This is like a Paul masterclass. I go for what do I go for? I guess I go for Water Sellers Union because I wasn't gonna get Punishers because I think Carino had way too much influence. So I'm cell searching. I'm getting rid of this assassination attempt. And as that's happening, I think Vernius is like really close to winning here, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I put a ceasefire there because those guys were coming to raid the village, and I need them to cell search that village to get rid of that assassination cell. And that's happening while I'm still preparing the war on Vernius's White Rift tile. And Vernius and Carino now are like ahead of me, so but I have three regions in the back. And I send a bunch of truces over to Carino. Hey Hackstar, thanks for rating. I send a bunch of truces over to Carino, and I'm trying to I'm trying to take that special and sneak into the lead, and I have three back caps. Now I'm floating authority, right? So what I really need to do is I really need to cap one of these one of these normals, but I don't think I did. He didn't rebuild his militia here, so this was easier to take. Now I can start to cap this region, and I need to make an EMP bomb. I destroy his airfield. I might go after these turrets, and I get one warden to tank this stuff. And yeah, I think okay. So here he comes, and he's at 28.2, so he has to be stopped here. The I don't have the EMP operation here, which is something I could have done a little better. But I think I win this fight pretty clearly because my army is just so juiced. I'm pretty sure I have the military base. So he nukes this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave one unit in there to leave the cap as long as possible. And then I'm going to run my units back so the cap continues. And that's how you stop the nuke play. Let's rewatch that. This is like 2.5 speed. Let's rewatch that. So look, he's gonna nuke this here, which is the right play. The problem is he waited too long, and the capture is almost complete. So when the capture is this close to completing, you are gonna like risk the chance of the person being able to continue the capture. As the nuke hits, the capture starts to unwind, and as it unwinds, you have the opportunity to run units back in there to prevent the cap from stopping, and then the village becomes irradiated for 4 days, and you can't cap it, right? So what I do, pay attention. Let's play this on 1x. Let's play this on 1x here. What I do is I leave my heavy weapon squad in there. He gets killed. Now, while the nuke is going off, there's a big blast zone around it, and units, if they stand too close to it, they start to die. So I send one unit at a time. You see he's dying here. He's dying. But I just got to make sure that somebody gets in there before that capture ends. And my warden gets in there, and his army, even with the nuke killing two of my units, is not enough. And he's already obfuscated parallel training here. You can see I can only make 2 units at a time. So he's just as screwed from parallel training obfuscation as I am. So let's go back to 2.5 speed. And we're going to continue to watch how this plays out. I'm going to win this fight because Duncan Idaho is a Chad. And I'm just using him to tank. He's got 2 turrets over here, right? And I'm just using my tankier units in the front. I'm keeping my units in the back line. Duncan is going in. He's going to tank this like no one's ever tanked anything before. And he's going to just you see how he's hunting that unit down. I'm going to sack him because I don't care. I just want to secure the cap on the White Rift, right? So I cap the White Rift. Then what I need to be doing here is I need to be making operations. And there I go. I should really make a ceasefire. I don't know why in what world I don't have a ceasefire. That's not enough units to stop me. Atreides matches up really well against Vernius because their ranged units are super tanky and they deal a lot of damage. And now I start merc spamming because I have I'm making 1.2k Solari and I have 14.6k in the bank. So I played this really well. Like I do have to say this was played really well. He thought he had a trump card with the nuke. He didn't throw it fast enough. I ended up winning that, and you can see I'm annexing in my right behind my main base. So with this cap, after I kill these 2 units, and I'm starting to merc spam to just secure it. With this cap and this annex in the back, I win the game outright because tax hits right here. Tax is gonna hit in like a day or two, and that, in my opinion, was a Paul Atreides Jessica masterclass because we didn't care that somebody died. We didn't get frustrated that Carino got a third base. We prevented ourselves from getting base dropped. We never floated authority. Very rarely did we ever float authority, and there's the dub. So very rarely did we ever float authority, and we were making 24 authority, man. Like when you're making 24 authority, I think a lesser experienced player is going to be sitting on 500 authority for way too long. We kept annexing. We annexed in the backline of Carino. We annexed in the backline of Vernius. We used our operations well, and that is a how to on a Paul Jessica Atreides for the dub. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys give this video a like, and I hope you write me some comments on any other questions you have about this kind of playstyle on Atreides. We will see you guys for the next, the only Dune Spice Wars guide video you're going to need. See you later. Bye.